I wonder if we could... I'll maybe hold off building a stable for a little while. Yeah, I don't know if the game thinks about grabbing resources from the nearest point of storage. So spreading out like this, even if they end up with food and stuff in here. They've got beer in here. I mean, right, okay, this pretty much sums it up. We didn't make the beer here, did we? Yet someone's dragged it on a cart and chucked it in one of these houses. I'm pretty much sure they didn't just bring it with them for the sake of bringing it. And when these people get tired, will they have the sense to go to the nearest roundhouse? Or will they walk? Will the game sort of calculate, hang on, there's a slot free in this house, and just assign them to that one, whether it's close enough or not? I guess we'll find out. But, yeah, I think the game engine's going to struggle with this. If they don't build any huts, would you people start building them? No. What would happen is they just complain about the lack of shelter, and eventually they would probably die in winter. They should be alright the rest of the year. But they do need sleep, so they'd either get ill or they'd... I don't know. You start off with huts at the beginning of the game. If you delete them, I suppose it's a shortcut to disaster, because you can't store stuff either without a hut. They're your first storage points. Morel, you've never been that hungry, so you're not going to say what you will and won't eat in a situation like that. Dogs, or whatever. I've often wondered about this. I've got a friend who's vegan, and I often wondered if we ended up... because there's me and him and another lad, and we often go on these like big epic walks across the hills. Like the 3 peaks in the Yorkshire Dales. I often wonder if we got stranded up on top of a hill overnight, and all we had was like, I don't know, some beef jerky or something. Would he go hungry, or would he eat it? I always wonder. And the reason I always wonder is because I remember a sketch on Neighbours 20-some years ago, where it was a character called Josh, and was it his girlfriend? What was she called? She was fit. She was blonde-haired. I can't remember. They got shut in the freezer of the coffee shop at Lassiter's overnight. They were doing some research on something. They snuck in and got locked in. And he made her, a vegetarian, eat a meat pie so she didn't get hypothermia. And for some reason, that scene has stuck in my mind for like 20-odd years. And I've often wondered, how principled will people still be faced with starvation? Maybe not starvation, but just faced with a very unpleasant situation. I do wonder. And it is funny, the crap that you remember that is absolutely useless as well. You know that from history, it's about 50-50. I guess some people will be more principled than others. They'll push it further. Okay. Things are... What we're on? We're okay on cattle. We're okay on sheep. We've got everything we need. Everything's working quite well. What's the storage situation for water? I have a water gathering place, do I? Yeah, where's the... There it is. So, what did I set? That's 75%. Okay. How's things looking down here? We've got the bit for... Well, we still need materials for a granary. We've got food in here now. Although, of course, we can't make flour, straw. That's not terribly useful. And we did, well, the fisherman's obviously working. Hang on. Someone's brought some raw meat to dry on this one. This is a classic example of how this game isn't designed for this. They've butchered an animal up here, and they've said, there's a slot free on this air dryer, and they've brought it all the way down here to use on this. I think I'm going to go out on a bit of a limb here and say that building settlement so spread out like this is probably going to break the game at this stage of its development. Who knows what we'll be putting in the future, but I don't think this is going to work. Still, let's speed it up and see what happens for a few turns. The Donner Party in the 1840s, about half of them resorted to cannibalism. The rest didn't. None of the Donner family themselves resorted to cannibalism. Okay, the Donner Party, what was that? Was that some expedition that got stranded somewhere? Don't think I've heard of that. Varub died of old age. I mean, there's some good hunting around here. It's a shame that my people have got nothing. I mean, where does the fish go? Has someone taken it and eaten it? Or have they carried it all the way back to the main settlement? Because no amount of trying to make this work is going to work if they just carry it on to the main settlement. And why isn't this place getting felled faster? What I could do, this is going to mix things up a bit. Let's do this. Let's put a field of emmer in this. There we go. We're going to have some crops. We're going to build a watermill for the flour. I'm giving them every chance. That is gone in. Yeah, that's gone in. We've got that, so we can bake bread. We don't need them. Solid. Let's just go all in. Let's build the oven. We've got pretty much everything we need. Oh, it's a trader. Thought it said raider. Attack. It would help if you could assign people to housing. Yeah, it would. Or at least designate an area. Say, select this and say, right, this is going to be area B. And you could assign people like priority to like which area they worked and delivered stuff to. Certainly delivered stuff to. You could do that from the work zones, couldn't you? You could say, right, this fishing zone is going to deliver all the fish to this storage hut. Yeah, like stuff like that. That would work. That would work quite well, actually. So if I could set this fishing zone. Achievement unlocked, Master of Steel. I must have made some steel weapons. And say, right, we can set the population. We can set the amount of fish to get. But I want it delivered to this dryer. And this dryer delivers to this warehouse. Did it like that? I think it could be made to work. I mean, they're bringing straw down here. Maybe that was just from the wild stuff. Who knows? A Donner Party was a wagon train out to California. There were a bunch of pioneers that got caught in the snowstorm and had to spend the winter in the high mountains. Now, that would be pretty damn grim. It would. Banished is much better at distributing stuff. I haven't played Banished. I did assume that developers of this had some relation to Banished because it looks on the surface very similar. But I guess that's had longer to be sort of, what's the word, polished and refined, hasn't it? Right, they've brought some... Hang on. I click on that. That has distinctly got some raw meat in, hasn't it? And yet it hasn't. Interesting. Well, we could have a little haystack around here as well. Storage. We want storage. So if I do this, it's right next to the field, just there. Then we can also justify... someone's got a disease. Nice. We can also justify putting a stable in here. And then I'm going to have to find some animals to go and live in it. I think we're breaking things here, but let's go with it for a bit. Banished is a great game. Yeah, you know what? After playing this, I wished I'd sort of got it a bit sooner. I've looked at it a few times. And just never bought it. I think I prefer this purely because of the setting that it's in. I'm sort of quite interested in Stone Age and the Bronze Age. It's not an area I know much about. I say I'm interested in it. I don't study it particularly. I would probably like to. But this just piques my interest about things. I just find it fascinating the way humans have developed over the years, developed their skills and their sort of farming and agriculture and trade and technology based on simple things. I find it amazing that our ancestors built the things they did with the technology that they had. And stuff like that. Like Stonehenge is something that is just awe-inspiring. Regardless of what it was used for or not used for, the argument for that will continue a long time, no doubt. I just think it's amazing that they built the structure and got the stones and basically built proper joints into the stones. Fit them together. I love stuff like that. Yeah, I think what's happening is we're at risk of starving everyone and tiring them out because they're walking back and forth to produce this. They're not getting tired and going into the roundhouse here. They're getting tired and the game's assigning them a slot in the roundhouse back at the main settlement. So we'll see. Well, I'm kind of assuming that this might look after itself once we get food and everything. Right, so the raiders are coming over here. That's cool. Which wall are they going to hit? And what's going to happen to them poor sods down there when I sound the alarm? Let's see. It's definitely time to hit that. Let's let them raiders getting closer. I've hit the alarms and some guy's determined to have a drink before he comes back in. They're going to come right through that corner, aren't they? I've left the gates open on purpose. Yep, they are. Damn it. They're attacking the walls, which is the last thing I wanted them to do. Everybody out. They're in, look. They're in. These guard towers will at least do some good. I don't know that you two should be running in like that, quite. We've got a dog getting stuck in as well. Does Banished have, like, raider attacks or enemy armies or stuff come wandering in? Does it have a combat element to the game? I wish I could get my people to... There we go. They don't always run when you tell them to. So we've lost a few. Could have built a great big... is that one? Yes, it is. I thought it was. I could have built some more guard towers around there, but... oh well. Job's done. You never know quite where they're going to come from. I don't think I even shut the gates on that, did I? No. How old is Stonehenge? It's old. I don't know, to be quite honest. Kit would be the man to tell us about that, but he's, I think has he left the chat? Yeah, he's probably gone down the pub for another beer. I don't know. The uses for Stonehenge, it's claimed by the Druids, but it wasn't built by the Druids. The Druids came a lot later than Stonehenge. So, what their link is to it, I don't know. Does that work? Nearly. And then one more, just to pop that in there. There we go, get that finished. There's raiders dead everywhere. Did I lose any towers? No, just a few people. Enemistario, Twitch send you here after searching Dawn of War 3. Okay, this is quite different to Dawn of War 3. No Space Marines here, unfortunately. Just, well, Iron Age civilians having a very hard time of things at the moment. Yeah, the name Dawn of Man isn't particularly well recognised by YouTube and Twitch and stuff just at the moment. Banished is just a city builder in roughly medieval times, so there's no combat side to that. Oh, okay. Well, I mean, that's cool. It's still good at what it does. The combat element, it can be annoying sometimes, but it also, especially in hardcore mode, adds a huge extra level of challenge. I suppose that's a good thing. The walls haven't fallen down. That is an old cow. We can slaughter that. Yeah, you notice more and more of my people getting hungry and upset and tired. It's all because of this mess down here where we've tried to build another settlement. I'm going to give it a year so we can build the bread oven and get the mill working, and at least, you know, give things a chance. We've got one of our horses have come down here, so the stable might end up getting used, but I don't think this is going to work. I don't think the game's set up to manage settlements spread out like this, but we'll see. Have fun and please don't do genocide. We'll try not to murder everything. The only thing we've really murdered earlier was a few herds of antelope and stuff in an attempt to get some food and some leather to make a few things with. But other than that, we've been trying to coexist peacefully with the environment. There's a lot of stuff there. Like that sledge. It's got some meat on it. And it would dry out perfectly on that food dryer. But they're not going to use it. Right, that guy's making some flour. What's he going to do with that? Going to store it in there, eh? We've got raw fish. They're putting raw fish in there rather than putting it on the food dryer. Yeah, I don't... If this was all in the main settlement, this would be working perfectly, but I fear we have broken it. Still, we shall persevere. The mastodons, yes, that's true. We ate all the mammoths and all the woolly rhinos as well, unfortunately. But they were very nice. Very nice indeed. Packed full of protein. Well, this does look good, this little outlying settlement. But I think the first time the raiders approach from this end of the map, it's gone. Because I think they'll trash everything. Right, hang on a minute. Where are those lot off? Right, he's running off with a fish. Let's just see. Yeah, he's carrying a fish, so he's gone to get a raw fish. Shall we just see where they go then? Let's just follow him. Because this is going to give us a really good indication of what the AI is thinking about. It's seen a raw fish in a warehouse down there, so it's gone to get it. We know that there's a campfire next to it. And we know that there's an air dryer next to it. Let's see where we are. And it's... What's she doing with this? Right. It carried it all the way to that. So there we go. Oh, there's our answer, folks. The AI, it can't cope with having things spread out. It looks for a free slot for whatever the job is, be it fishing, sleeping, storage, whatever, and it assigns a worker to pick up that product and put it in that free slot. And if there's one like a million times closer, doesn't matter, it's assigned that particular slot. I think that's what we're seeing here. It'd be very nice if the developers can do something about that before this is released. And who knows, they might be working on it. This is just the beta, after all. But I don't think having spread out settlements is going to work. This is going to be a good indication, because we're going to have these people harvest this stuff. And let's see if they have the sense to dump it straight in the granary, right next to the field, or if they carry it all the way back to the main settlement. Such a shame the distribution doesn't work how it should, because these huge, beautiful maps are wasted. They are. And that's why I wonder if they've got more planned, because the maps are huge. They're not needed to be this huge. So why would they be made that huge? Maybe if the developers are going to bring something in. Multiplayer would be nice. Or maybe some scheme for multiple settlements like this would be nice as well. Let's just run this fast, because they're harvesting that grain, but it ain't going in there. Is it going straight to the mill? No, it's not going straight to the mill. The oven is not doing anything. Is that... That's just generic grain, okay. I think... Did I just see that right? Did he just... I think he's just carried a bag of flour from the main settlement. I think he's brought it all the way down here to use in this oven. And there are 5 ovens in that settlement. I might be wrong. It might be wrong, but... well, they are putting some grain in there. We are getting bread in there now. We got... I think what'll... And they are putting straw on there, though not very much of it. Right, so he's complaining he's hungry. He goes and gets the bread. The oven's working. I think the longer this goes on, the better it might work, but... Now, he's tired. Where's he going to go? Let's see. Does he go into the nearest house? He has. And he's having a rest. Something to eat. Right. They're starving. They're going to die if they walk all the way back there. Well, to be fair, there's nothing to eat here. Depends where the flour goes from that, I suppose. Yeah, someone's died of starvation. There's going to be a lot of that. Look at this. Look at this. Some idiot bringing 2 bags of flour to you and swimming across the river with it to bake in this oven. So, yeah. I'm not going to pursue this any further at the moment, folks, because it's quite clear that that's just not going to work like it should. So I'm just going to save that. Because I might come back to this. There might be some big patch where this is made possible. Where's stream? Right, just save that twice in case we mess it up. And let's go and show you the hardcore mode. There's very few animals on most of the map. They're concentrated on water. However, 3 are gathering up. Oh, they're gathering opportunities everywhere. I suppose that's realistic, but I do wonder how it's supposed to be used. I think the animals tend to move around a lot. Because I've noticed they would sort of gather near water. They hang around the lake, but they often do migrate around. I don't know if there's any pattern to it. Let's quit that one out. I'll just quickly show you, for you people who have not seen this before. We've also got, so this is the Continental Dawn. This is the standard mode, playing normal difficulty, which is good fun, that I've completed. We've got all the, the last milestone was to get 100 people in your settlement, so that was easy. There's the Ancient Warriors, which I haven't tried. What's this all about? Advanced Defense. Oh, hang on. Okay, that's going to be a more challenge mode. This is the Northlands. This is challenging, and this one's actually difficult. I guess this has hordes and hordes of attackers. There's also challenges, like the Long March. That's just marching some mammoths across the map. It's a bit dawn. I don't think I have to think. Well, I must have to unlock these. These looks like they've been put into the game. These weren't there last time I looked. There's a creative mode for those of you who don't want to have to fight and stuff to mess about with. Temple of the Sun. I'm guessing that's you have to build a. What do we have to do? Build the Great Temple of the Sun. Build a stone circle, menhirs, and do it quickly before your leader dies. Okay. But let's just go back to my hardcore mode. You're only allowed 1 save in hardcore mode as well. So you can't save a game, try something else, and come back to the old one. You go with it. Let's take a look at this. Is there a volcano on the map in case you want to forge some rings? I think we'll leave the Rings of Power out of this one. So this is my hardcore playthrough. We have got to, or I have got to rather, the Steel Age. I've got everything unlocked. You'll notice that this is smaller, and I have struggled to fill it because every now and again the raiders come in a big clump and they just trash everything. Like, this is all guard towers, or it was guard towers. They all got destroyed in the last raid. It is a hell of a fight. So, we're doing okay for food, and fish, and meat. Same sort of tactic. We've gone for sheep and cattle farming. We need some more sheep. And we've just tried to keep this small and compact so it's more easily defended. But 88 people. And every time I get above that, big raid, lots of casualties. Let's go and see if we can find some more sheep. Because, yeah, wool. We're okay for wool at the moment, but that will be an issue. We don't want goats. Goats don't add much value. I think there's a global sheep shortage at the moment. Yep. I guess we'll have to find them another time. Different game, by the way. Different location. I started by a lake. But, you know, despite it being still water, the water mills still work. Those sheep? They are, but there's no youngsters, unfortunately. Anyway, yeah, for all this is the harsh winter climate model, doesn't seem to matter. We seem to manage the food, we seem to survive the long winters. The food's the easy bit, it's surviving the constant raids that are the problem. And rebuilding the defensives. I'm hoping that these big guard towers are going to work a bit better. But we need a lot of iron for that. Have I done the same mistake as before? Have I turned off my iron production? Where is my iron production in this? Nope. Everything's building iron and steel. Yeah, let's check the limits. Yeah, let's get that. An infinite steel. Let's get that. Iron is going to be... In fact, we should set a sensible limit for steel, because 30... I mean, infinite's not sensible at all, so... And we've got a little orchard full of cherry trees out there, which look nice. It's not practical, because the fruit decays far too fast. I mean, your people will eat it. They do have the sense to eat decaying food, or food that's about to decay, before food that lasts longer. But even so, your effort is better put into grains and cured meats and nuts as well from the chestnuts. Or at least that's what I've found anyway. I don't think you have to worry too much about a balanced diet in this. So difficulty-wise, it's... For all it's supposed to be, the difficulty is supposed to be the harsh climate. And the difficulty is the fact that I've got it on hardcore mode and I get attacked. I don't think this would be too hard to actually unlock. I think I have to get... It says 30 roundhouses and a load of people, which I think I would have achieved if I hadn't put it on hardcore mode, so... We'll just get the crops in, and then I'll set people working, upgrading some houses. Capacity 109. I think I have to get that capacity 150. Oh, flint mine exhausted. Do we care about flint? I don't think we care about flint anymore. Ah, right. Let's set my minions off to work. Whoa. Yeah, maybe I could start a playthrough of that Ancient Warriors one, because that sounds like it might be interesting. Just before I disappear off the stream, I'll have a quick look at that and see what it's about. I think the game could use some more defense structures like ditches and spike traps, but that would be quite a challenge to balance. I think ditches would be a great idea. Maybe it would just really slow people down. Maybe there would be... I mean, could they be made impassable? Impassable ditches might make... or might result in balance issues. I think you're right. You like this... You kind of like this town's layout more than your last. Not sure why. I think the difference is I've learnt. This is newer than my last one, and I used the experience of the last one to try and make this a bit better. Like, well, we did have a nice, nice channel going through the middle here until I built some houses in it. And I tried to make the houses in rings a little bit with the industry in the middle, just for aesthetics, really. It doesn't matter. But this is shorter and smaller. It's a different layout. I'm using some natural rock as a defence in the corner there, which seems to work. We've still got Stonehenge. Got priorities, And I'm sure I've built something stupid on the other end of the lake, have I? Well, I've only got one in place, but I've set some more of these to be built. So yes, I do build silly things. Wolf attack. Oh, and the animals are more aggressive in hardcore mode as well. Although I've got to say, I haven't really noticed that. I thought that would be a big thing, but it's not.